like Sarica dipped into the lead or made it a race.
Travis Head.
Oh, straight through! It had to be, didn't it?
A very long way.
Paul over the head of Suarez. Rodriguez gives it a go. What a strike!
The strength of Okoronkwo and Nigeria.
Welcome to CTV Sports with yours sincerely, Fidel Linus Ohiero, MC Flow, the sports MC, back on the MIC again today. And on this edition of CTV Sports, it promises to be a very, very interesting edition and a loaded one, as we'll be bringing you very, very juicy news from the ever-busy, entertaining world of sports. We'll be going all the way to Rabat in Morocco to bring you updates from the Super Eagles camp, how many players are in camp as we speak, and also taking you back to the NPFL, the Nigeria Premier Football League, where the table is gradually taking shape and most of the big teams falling by the wayside at the moment, while Rivers United seem to be powering on one game at a time, and also taking you to the La Liga, EPL, French Ligue 1, and not forgetting a very important update coming from the world of that man, the Mercurial midfielder, Austin JJ Okocha. So good, they named him twice. He granted an interview, and you're going to listen to a very, very interesting update concerning what he had to say on the question he was asked, and also you'll be getting one or two tidbits from the world of football as well, concerning Super Falcons players and other updates. And quickly, off we go. Let's take you to the camp of the Super Eagles in Rabat, Morocco. It's going to be a make or mark clash. It is going to be go hard or go home for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the CAF 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff that will be going down out there in Rabat in Morocco. Of course, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be squaring up against the Panthers of Gabon. They're talking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang-led Gabon. And you know that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is in good form, red-hot form for club and country as we speak. The Super Eagles will be facing Gabon, while the indomitable Lion of Cameroon will be facing the DR Congo in the playoff. And the winners in these two games will be going straight to the final, where they'll slug it out for the country that will be picking the sole ticket for CAF to the Intercontinental playoff as we speak. And quickly, let's run down, looking at your screen, let's run down the list of players that are currently in the camp of the Super Eagles as we speak. We have Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze, Tolu Arokodare also in camp, Olakunle Olusegun all the way from Russia. He is in camp. Wilfred Ndidi is also in camp. Moses Daddy Simon is there. William Troost Ekong, the captain, is also in camp. And the recent fan favorite, talking about Benjamin Fredericks, the young, very, very energetic and mobile Benjamin Fredericks is also in camp as we speak. Chidozie Awaziem returns to the team. Bruno Onyemechi is also there. Amas Obasogi makes the cut also. And Stanley Nwabali is there. Semi Ajayi also in camp. Demola Lukman, Ako Adams, Chidera Ejuke, Bright Osai Samuel, Raphael Onyedika, Frank Onyeka, and Zedu Sanusi also in camp as we speak. At the moment, more players still being expected to join the team as we speak to complete the players. And that game will be going down on Thursday. Yes, you heard me right. On Thursday, that all-important clash against Gabon. The Super Eagles of Nigeria against Gabon will be going down on Thursday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Of course, if you know whatever you need to do to help the Super Eagles to win, ensure you do it as a very, very patriotic Nigerian. If you know how to pray, go down on your knees and pray for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as this is the only opportunity they have to make it to the 2026 World Cup. It's a second chance they got and a lifeline, having failed to qualify automatically to the World Cup. They had to do it. They have to do it the hard way, going through the playoff. And just to let you know again that after this CAF playoff, the winner will be going to the Intercontinental playoff, where they'll be facing countries from other continents as well. Of course, looking at the countries that will be coming to the Intercontinental playoff, some pundits and sport lovers have had their say, and they are of the opinion that the CAF playoff is going to be the main threat to Super Eagles qualifying. If they are able to skate through the CAF playoff, it just might be easy for them to make it when they get to the Intercontinental playoff. And that's because in the Intercontinental playoff, they are going to be meeting some teams, some countries that are not very, very strong enough to come up against them. And also in the FIFA ranking, those countries are also ranked below the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Countries like New Caledonia will be there in that playoff. And we are hoping that the Super Eagles of Nigeria should be able to beat Gabon, and also when they meet either Cameroon or DR Congo, they are able to pick up the win and then get to pick up the sole tickets to the Intercontinental playoff. Still talking about that game, Nigeria against Gabon. Of course, FIFA and CAF are actually appointed all South African referees to be in charge of that game between Nigeria and Gabon. And a lot of Nigerians came out to cry foul and shout to the heavens why CAF had to appoint all South African referees, even including the VAR, to be in charge of that game, looking at the very, very stiff competition between Nigeria and South Africa, even in these qualifiers. And their sport minister, South Africa's current sport minister, came up on national television to say that he doesn't want the Super Eagles of Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup, and you have to appoint CAF, South African referees to be in charge of the game involving the Super Eagles of Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians took to the social media to condemn that and called for a change to that. And then of course, that has been heard. That cry has been heard already, as there are plans to make changes to the team that will be officiating that game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Gabon come Thursday by 5 p.m. We hope that there are changes to the referees so that we don't have a case where at the end of the game, a lot will still be said about the refereeing as it concerns this particular one. And also still talking about that game, so good to know and to tell you that there will be VAR. VAR will be used in this particular World Cup playoff. And this is going to go a long way to address some issues that will arise from refereeing in this particular playoff, and it will help the referees to make very, very good decisions going forward. So, once again, the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Gabon, 5 p.m. on Thursday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Do well to go out there and support your team and we hope they are able to put smiles on our faces come that day. And moving on, let's take you back home to the Nigeria Premier Football League, the NPFL 2025-2026. As it stands at the moment, let's look at the table. How does the table look at the moment in the NPFL? Nasarawa United, the solid miners, they call them. They are back at the top of the table currently. 23 points they have, and Abia Warriors have dropped to second on the log after that draw against Enyimba. And then Ikorodu City are currently placed third on the table, while Warri Wolves are fourth as we speak. Niger Tornadoes fifth. Enyimba International of Aba are sixth on the log. Kwara United 7, Rivers United 8, Katsina United 9, and Rangers International, the Flying Antelope, are really not flying, as they are currently occupying the 10th position on the log as we speak. And talking about Rivers United, of course, they are the only team remaining in the continent as we speak, representing Nigeria in the CAF Champions League. And just to let you know that with Rivers United qualifying to the group stage of the CAF Champions League, they have been able to save Nigeria. That's 4 slots going into the continent, meaning that still come next season, Nigeria will still be able to field 4 teams in the continent, 2 in the Confederations Cup and 2 in the CAF Champions League. If they had failed to qualify to the group stage of the CAF Champions League, Nigeria would have lost 2 slots, 1 in the Champions League and 1 in the Confederations Cup. Kudos to Rivers United and Finidi George for doing us proud, making us proud out there. And Rivers United, they are currently 8th on the log, and they have 2 outstanding games as it stands, courtesy of their participation in the CAF Champions League. They have 2 outstanding games. If they are able to complete these outstanding games and they are able to pick 6 maximum points from there, they should be tied on points or even go above Nasarawa United that are currently topping the table. So for Rivers United, just 1 game at a time, the way they are taking it, and we hope that they have a large pool of players that will be able to execute at the NPFL and the CAF Champions League as time goes on, and we wish them all the best as we speak. Still talking about the NPFL, a couple of days ago, news went round of the very ugly incident that took place in the game involving Barao FC and Katsina United, Barao FC of Kanu and Katsina United, where a player of Barao FC, having equalized for his team, was said to have been attacked and got injured in that one. As we speak, Katsina United have been hit with a fine from the NPFL, and the statement from the NPFL read, Katsina United have been charged for breaching the framework and rules of the NPFL 2026 in the course of their match day 12 fixtures versus Barao FC on Saturday. Just looking at your screen, you're going to see this statement as I continue to read it out. The club failed to provide adequate and effective security, resulting in unauthorized persons gaining access to restricted areas. Katsina United also failed to ensure proper conduct of their supporters, leading to the harassment of Barao FC players and match officials. Supporters of Katsina United also threw harmful objects onto the pitch, resulting in the injuries of Barao FC players. Furthermore, Katsina United supporters displayed conduct capable of bringing the game into disrepute, and also Katsina United will play all their subsequent home matches at the stadium in Jos and behind closed doors. And the club have been fined 1 million naira each for throwing objects towards the pitch, failing to ensure proper conduct of their supporters, and bringing the game into disrepute, totaling 3 million naira. The club will further pay 2 million naira each as compensation for the treatment of injuries and damages to the away teams' bosses, and for holding the match officials and away team hostage for hours after the match, totaling 4 million naira. Katsina United have 48 hours within the date of the notice to appeal the sanction. There you have it. The statements are from the MPFL, and Katsina United have been hit with a total fine of 9 million naira. If you total everything, they have been hit with that 9 million naira, and also banished to Jos, where they will be playing their home games. These incidents are really not good for our league, as they are not marketing our leagues in a good way. At the moment, we are really struggling to get very good sponsors for the league, and issues like this will scare potential sponsors away from investing in the league. And so clubs and various clubs owners have to do their various homework by ensuring that they educate their fans that football is not about hooliganism, and hooliganism is not accepted when it comes to the round leather game. And as such, it is a game that fans are expected to come in and support their team and cheer them up to win, and not begin to constitute nuisance when they get to the stadium. Well, I wish all those injured in this fracas speedy recovery. Moving on, let's take you to the Spanish La Liga, as the table currently stands before the international break. At the moment, Real Madrid is still detecting the pace in the Spanish La Liga as they occupy the top spot, and they have 31 points after match day 12. And FC Barcelona, with that return to their Spotify Camp Nou, yes, their own home ground, they are currently second on the log after match day 12. They have 28 points as we speak. And then Villarreal are third on the log. They have 26 points at the moment. Atletico Madrid, they are fourth on the log, 25 points amassed so far. And then Real Betis fifth on the log, 20 points. And then Espanyol, Athletic Club Bilbao, Getafe, Sevilla, Alaves complete the top 10 in the Spanish La Liga. This is how the table in the Spanish La Liga looks just before the international break. And moving on to the English Premier League. As we speak, the English Premier League is gradually taking shape and hotting up. Just last weekend, of course, you saw very interesting results that came up in the games that were played, as Arsenal dropped 2 points against Sunderland. They played out a 2-2 draw in that one. And then the biggest game of the weekend, that one involving Liverpool and Manchester City, as Manchester City in that game emerged 3-0 better off than Liverpool. They defeated Liverpool by 3-0 as the defending champions of the English Premier League were not able to respond. That particular game was Pep Guardiola's 1,000th game in charge and then of any team, and he was able to celebrate that one with a win. Of course, he got before that game, he got a congratulatory message from Jurgen Klopp, the former Liverpool manager, congratulating him and welcoming him to the 1,000 club for being able to guide teams and manage teams and playing 1,000 matches. And he marked that one with a win. So congratulations to Pep Guardiola, as his team is gradually getting back to their best again. At the moment, they look like the only team, or maybe with a few others, that will be able to challenge Arsenal for the title. And we hope that from the way Arsenal have been powering on, they are able to sustain that tempo and be able to hold on, as their defense line have really been helping them this season. They've conceded the fewest number of goals so far, as they've been looking very good. If that defense continues that way, they just might be able to help Arsenal to win the league. As it is said, of course, the attacker can win you games, but your defense will win you titles. And so that's how Arsenal have been moving on this season. If their defense keep it this way, they just might be able to win the title for Arsenal. And but a lot of people have been saying that as it stands at the end of November and December, Arsenal might not remain on top of the log. But let's see how it goes if that's what we eventually come to pass. Well, Arsenal is topping with 26 points. Manchester City 22, Chelsea 20, Sunderland 19, Spurs 18, Aston Villa 18, Man United 18, and Liverpool 18, Bournemouth 18 as well. And then Crystal Palace completes the top 10 with 17 points. That's the top 10, the first half of the English Premier League table. And that's how the table currently looks. And as it stands, all the teams are beginning to know where they belong. And it's looking obviously like the defending champions, talking about Liverpool, does not have what it takes to maybe they have what it takes, but have not been able to meet up this season. They really have been struggling, and not really sure they'll be able to challenge for the title this season as we speak. And then moving on, let's take you to that interview from JJ Okocha. Of course, I told you earlier that Austin JJ Okocha granted an interview earlier on, and then he was asked a very two important question, and then he provided answers to that one. He was asked which three teams, which three cities he would have loved to play for during his playing days, but eventually did not make it there. And he was also asked concerning the NFF. You know that there have been a lot of rumors making the rounds that Austin JJ Okocha is really interested in throwing his hat into the ring, contesting for the position of the NFF president. He was asked that question as well. Let's listen to what JJ Okocha had to say when he was asked these questions.
JJ, tell me three cities and club that you wish you had played for.
You want to get me in trouble.
I mean, it's a wish.
I missed only one, I would say. You know, I would have loved to play for Barcelona.
Barcelona. Wow.
Wow, that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Paris Saint-Germain achieved.
Achieved, yes.
Eintracht Frankfurt achieved, but Barcelona I missed that. So, yeah.
A lot of Nigerians, you know, we believe that Nigerian football has declined, you know, in recent years. From your own perspective, where did we get it wrong?
Well, I think it's lack of consistency, you know. I mean, in my opinion, I think Nigerian football started declining after Nations Cup 2002.
Nations Cup 2002, okay. What happened?
Yeah.
I know some people might not be happy with me, but the squad that we went to the World Cup with 2002 was maybe the weakest that I played.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's obvious. That's the Japan World Cup.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Japan
I mean,
yes.
it's obvious. Yeah.
The previous World Cups, we made it out of our group. Maybe even we topped the group. But we didn't even come out of our group in that 2002. So that transition
As
did
affected.
not really happen like it used to, you know. Before then, we had players that had played in the national team for years and then retire, and then others
Take over from them, yeah.
took over from them. But that transition didn't happen. They disbanded the team, and then almost 70% of the team left.
JJ, there have been conversations linking your name to the NFF. Are we going to see JJ Okocha vie for the head of the Nigerian Football Federation?
Maybe because there's nobody else left. That's why they were mentioning my name.
No,
I'm enjoying my private life. I'm enjoying my freedom.
I'm very sure the viewers want to know: are we going to see?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm a junkie when it comes to football. I'm a big one of the. Forget about me playing for Nigeria. I'm one of Nigeria's biggest fans. You know, that was why part of the reasons why I moved back home. You know, to show that I'm from a good place too. So I mean, if we get to the level that we have to come out and say that enough is enough, we've seen enough. Why not?
okay. So the answer to this is
It's possible.
You never know.
It's possible.
You never know what
And you
will
should add to
happen.
that
Yes.
if he was made the NFF president,
yes,
what would he do different?
yes.
I'm a football person. It's what my focus will be us getting results.
Okay. Wow, we've had a lively and truly unforgettable conversation with JJ Okocha, the man who turned football into art and inspired generations to dream bigger. I am Femi Shoneye, and this is The Exchange.
All right, there you have it. Of course, what JJ Okocha had to say when he was asked those questions. Of course, he mentioned that he would have loved to play in the city of Barcelona, talking about playing for FC Barcelona, when he was asked where he would have loved to play, and eventually he didn't make it. He mentioned the FC Barcelona. He would have loved to play there, and also not forgetting the fact that he played for PSG and enjoyed his time there. And concerning him contesting for the NFF presidency, you heard what he said. Of course, as we gradually wind down the clock on this edition of CTV Sports, let's quickly let you know concerning the World Cup playoff. On Thursday, both matches concerning Nigeria and Gabon will be played, and Cameroon will also be playing against DR Congo that same Thursday. And the final will be played on Sunday, the 16th of November, between the two countries that will be winning their games on Thursday. And also, let's quickly bring you a quick one concerning Nigeria forward Gift Monday. She continued to make her mark in the United States as she struck again for Washington Spirit in their NWSL quarterfinal single leg clash. The Super Falcon forward rose the highest in the 73rd minute, powering home a brilliant header to give her team the lead in a tightly contested match. This will take us goals so far to this season to 11. Registered 12 goals so far this season in the NWSL. And that's how we'll drop the anchor on this edition of CTV Sports. Of course, do well to join us again in our next edition as we'll be bringing you a more loaded package and giving you update from the ever busy and exciting world of sport. On Saturday, we'll be here as well. We'll try to be here to prepare you for that final on Sunday, hoping that our Super Eagles will be part of the final as we drop the anchor here on this edition of CTV Sports. My name is Fidel Linus Ohiero, MC Flow, the sports MC. I'll be back again. Do well to catch us on GoTV channel 115 and also on Facebook as well. Until we come your way again next time, stay healthy, stay sporty, and stay fit.